Your mind is the most powerful tool you have. Not your body, not your bank account, not your job title. Your mind. It's the command center. It's what interprets pressure, frames experiences, builds or breaks confidence, and drives every action you take. When you wake up each morning, you're stepping into a world that's unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen, who's going to test your patience, what's going to shake your focus, or where resistance will show up. But you do know one thing, your preparation, and that starts with your mental state. When you sharpen a blade, you don't do it once and expect it to stay ready forever. The same applies to your mindset. You don't get tough, focused, or resilient by accident. It's intentional, daily. Mental sharpness is a discipline, something that requires repetition, clarity, and effort. You have to train it the way an athlete trains their body. Just like muscle, mental strength builds through challenge, through discomfort, through getting up when you don't feel like it, pushing back when fear tries to creep in, and choosing clarity over chaos. Every morning before the noise comes in, before emails, calls, texts, and the world starts making demands, you need to reinforce your internal armor. What are you feeding your mind? Are you starting your day with purpose or with panic? Are you letting other people's opinions shape your direction before you've even spoken to yourself? That first hour of your day matters more than most people realize. It sets the tone, and if you're not the one driving the narrative in your head, someone else is. Sharpening your mind means challenging your automatic thoughts. That voice that tells you you're not ready, not good enough, not strong enough, challenge it, because most of those thoughts aren't truth. They're just repetition. Maybe they came from past experiences, other people's words, or your own insecurities, but they don't get to run the show unless you let them. Mental strength is recognizing the story you're telling yourself and choosing to rewrite it if it's not serving you. It also means focusing your attention like a laser. Distractions are everywhere. You're being pulled in 100 directions, bombarded with information, notifications, opinions. The undisciplined mind chases all of it. The trained mind filters. It chooses. It knows what matters, and it knows how to ignore what doesn't. That kind of focus isn't built overnight. It comes from making decisions every single day to stay aligned with your priorities, your values, and your long game. And let's be clear, this isn't about toxic positivity or pretending everything's great. It's about being real with yourself and choosing power over passivity. It's about seeing challenges and saying, "This is fuel." Sharpening your mind means refusing to let the world dull your edge. You might get knocked down, but you don't stay down. You observe, you adjust, you learn, because that's what people with sharp minds do. Too many people think toughness is something you're either born with or not. That it's wired into your DNA, handed to you by fate, passed down like eye color or height. That's a lie. Mental and emotional toughness aren't inherited. They're constructed, built, layer by layer, choice by choice. You don't come into this world knowing how to handle pressure, bounce back from failure, or keep going when it hurts. You learn, and you learn by doing hard things. Toughness isn't about being fearless. It's not about pretending you're unaffected or never feeling pain. It's about feeling it, and still moving forward. That part right there is what separates people. The ability to face discomfort, take the hit, feel the doubt, and still take the next step. That doesn't come from privilege or luck. It comes from repetition, from choosing the harder road, even when the easier one is wide open. Especially then, if you look at the people who are truly tough, you'll notice something. They've all been through something. Loss, rejection, failure, betrayal, sometimes all of it. What shaped them wasn't the pain itself. It was what they did with it. They didn't crumble and quit, they adapted. They got sharper, smarter, more resilient. That kind of strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you earn in the trenches, when no one's watching, when there's no applause, and when every part of you wants to give up. And here's what most people overlook. Toughness gets built in the small moments. It's not just the big, dramatic obstacles. It's the everyday grind. It's waking up early when you're exhausted. It's sticking to your word when no one else would hold you accountable. It's choosing patience over rage, clarity over chaos. It's saying no to what's comfortable when you know it's not good for you. These small decisions are the bricks that build resilience. Every one of them matters. There's a mindset that comes with building toughness. No one is coming to save you. Not in the way you think. People might support you, encourage you, even help you back on your feet. But real toughness is built when you stop waiting for something external to change your situation and take full responsibility for how you show up. That shift from victim to owner is where toughness lives, and once you cross that line, you start to see yourself differently. You start to realize that no matter what happens around you, you have control over how you respond. You have to train for it, just like a muscle. Toughness grows through resistance. It needs tension. You get stronger not by avoiding struggle, but by stepping into it and learning how to breathe through the pressure. The mistake people make is thinking they need to feel ready before they act tough. You won't. You'll feel uncertain. You'll feel afraid. That's exactly when you build it, by acting tough before you feel tough. It's a choice you make, not a feeling you wait for. Excuses feel good in the moment. They give you an out, a reason why you didn't show up, didn't finish, didn't try, didn't push. They let you temporarily escape responsibility. But here's the truth. Excuses are a tax on your potential. And if you keep paying that tax, it will cost you your growth, your goals, and your self-respect. You don't need another justification. You need results. You don't have the luxury to sit back and wait for perfect conditions. You don't have time to keep telling yourself the same story of why you can't. People who operate at a high level know this. They hold themselves to a standard, not a mood. They don't need to feel motivated. They don't need everything to be ideal. They move whether it's raining or sunny, whether people are watching or not, whether they slept well or barely at all, because they understand that excuses don't serve them. In fact, they weaken you. The more you use them, the more you reinforce the habit of underperforming, and worse, accepting it. You can always find a reason not to do something. Always. Too tired, too busy, too stressed, too old, too young, too broke. The list will write itself if you let it. But none of those reasons change the fact that action still needs to happen. Life isn't about waiting until you feel ready. It's about moving through resistance. About saying, yes, this is hard, and I'm doing it anyway. Excuses are built on the assumption that something or someone else is to blame for your lack of progress. And while it may be easier to point fingers, it's also powerless. You give up control every time you blame instead of take ownership. You want momentum. Cut off the escape routes. Stop giving yourself backup plans for mediocrity. People often say they're afraid of failure, but what they're really afraid of is being seen trying. Because if you try and fall short, it's on you. That's scary, but it's also the only honest path to growth. Excuses protect your ego in the short term, but destroy your progress in the long term. The more you make them, the more you train yourself to expect less from yourself. And the more you lower the bar, the harder it becomes to climb back up. You have to understand that no one is going to care as much as you do. No one is coming to force you to do the work. If you wait for accountability, for motivation, for someone to push you, you're already behind. That internal standard, the one that holds you to doing what you said you would do, that has to be stronger than your excuses. because life is brutal to the passive. It does not reward those who wait around for circumstances to change. It rewards those who change despite the circumstances. This doesn't mean being unrealistic or ignoring real challenges. It means refusing to let those challenges define your limits. It means saying, "This is my situation, and I will find a way." That mindset separates those who move from those who stand still. You can't build something powerful on a foundation of reasons why you didn't start. You walk into a room, and without saying a word, people feel you. That's energy. It's not about being loud or dominating. It's about presence, the way you carry yourself, the intention behind your actions, the frequency you operate on. People pick up on it instantly. So do you. You've felt it. When someone walks in and the mood shifts, sometimes they lift the room, sometimes they drain it. That's how powerful energy is. It moves before words do, and it influences everything it touches. The mistake most people make is treating energy like it's unlimited. It's not. You have a limited amount of physical, mental, and emotional bandwidth every day. If you're not intentional about where that energy goes and who gets access to it, you'll constantly feel depleted. Drained, off balance, not because you're weak, but because you're unguarded, and being unguarded in this world costs you. It's not enough to just have good energy. You have to protect it. That starts the moment you wake up. Before the world gets a piece of you, you need to check in with yourself. What's your baseline? What kind of thoughts are you running through your mind first thing in the morning? Because those thoughts set the tone. If you're waking up and immediately opening your phone, scrolling through other people's noise, opinions, and negativity, you're handing over your energy before you've even claimed it. That's a losing strategy. Guarding your energy means setting boundaries. Not everyone gets access to you. Not every conversation is worth your attention. Not every conflict deserves your reaction. Some people feed you, some people drain you. Pay attention to which is which. This doesn't mean being cold or closed off. It means being aware. You can be kind without being available to chaos. You can be strong without absorbing other people's dysfunction. You don't have to take on the weight of every situation you walk into. You get to choose what you carry. Your environment matters too. The spaces you spend time in, the content you consume, the energy of the people you surround yourself with, all of it either recharges or robs you. Be ruthless about eliminating what pulls you down. That includes habits, mindsets, and behaviors that lower your frequency. The way you speak to yourself matters. The way you handle setbacks matters. Every choice you make is either protecting your energy or leaking it. And don't overlook your own role. You're not just influenced by energy, you influence it. When you show up distracted, negative, unfocused, people feel that. When you show up present, clear, grounded, they feel that too. Leadership isn't just about titles. It's about energy, the kind that can steady a room, the kind that doesn't react to chaos, but sets the tone in spite of it. Your energy introduces you before you speak, and it stays long after you've left. That means you have to treat it like currency. Spend it where it brings return, with people who align with your values, on work that fuels your purpose, in environments that elevate, not exhaust. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's not a personality trait reserved for the loudest person in the room or the most extroverted voice in the conversation. Confidence is built, earned, through actions that align with your words, especially when no one else is watching. And at the core of that process is one simple truth. You build confidence by keeping the promises you make to yourself. Not the ones you make to your boss, your partner, your coach, or your team. The ones you quietly make in your own mind. It starts small. You say you're going to get up at 6:00 a.m. and train. You say you're going to finish that project today. You say you're going to stop scrolling and start focusing. But then life happens, distractions come in, the bed feels too comfortable, The pressure builds, and suddenly those promises slip, maybe just once. Then again and again. Every time you break one of those small internal commitments, you send a message to yourself that your word can't be trusted, that you're not reliable, that what you say doesn't matter. And over time, that's exactly how your confidence starts to erode. Not because you're incapable, but because deep down you know you're not following through. On the flip side, when you do follow through, when you say I will, and then you do, you build evidence. You show yourself that you are reliable, that your word is strong, that you can count on yourself when things get uncomfortable. That internal trust becomes the foundation of true confidence, not arrogance, not bravado, but the quiet, grounded belief that you will show up, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Keeping promises to yourself also builds discipline, and discipline is confidence in motion. It's choosing what you want most over what you want now. It's shutting down the excuses, delaying the gratification, pushing past the resistance, not for anyone else, but because you said you would. That kind of integrity to self is rare, and that's why it's powerful. It builds a different kind of pride, one that isn't loud, but unshakable, one that doesn't need to be validated, because it's already earned in the doing. The world is full of people who look confident on the outside, but are falling apart internally. Why? Because their confidence is built on perception, not action, on external applause, not internal alignment. But when your confidence is rooted in keeping your own promises, it doesn't matter who's watching. It doesn't matter who doubts you or who doesn't believe. You've already proven it to the only person who truly matters in that equation, you. And here's the part most people overlook. Those promises don't have to be massive to count. They can be as small as getting out of bed when you said you would, sticking to your routine, finishing what you start, speaking up when your voice shakes. The size doesn't matter. The consistency does. Because every time you do what you said you were going to do, you reinforce a belief. I am someone who shows up. That belief compounds. It becomes your identity. And that identity becomes your power. There's a lie most people live by, one that keeps them playing small, procrastinating, and waiting for the perfect time. That lie is, there's always tomorrow. It sounds harmless. It even feels comforting, but it's dangerous, because the truth is, tomorrow is never promised. You don't control what happens next week, next month, or even tonight. All you've got for sure is today. This moment, and what you choose to do with it, is everything. It's easy to fall into the trap of waiting, waiting to feel ready, waiting for the fear to disappear, waiting for the schedule to open up or the motivation to hit. But waiting becomes a habit. It feels like strategy, but it's actually avoidance. And while you're waiting, time is moving, life is moving. The people who get things done, who grow, who evolve, understand one thing clearly. Today is the only shot they're guaranteed. They don't waste it. When you treat today like it matters, your priorities shift. You stop negotiating with your goals. You stop making space for distractions disguised as rest. You get focused, intentional, precise. You realize every decision you make today, every workout you show up for, every hour you invest in your craft, every time you choose discipline over comfort, builds a version of you that's stronger tomorrow if tomorrow shows up. And if it doesn't, you still gave everything to the time you did have. That's what owning your life looks like. People act like they've got unlimited time, but they don't. They think they'll have a second chance, a better opportunity, a cleaner slate. But real life doesn't always give you a warning. It doesn't always tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, now is the right time. Sometimes the only signal you get is your own sense of urgency, that gut level awareness that time is precious and what you do with it matters. You don't have to live in fear of time running out, but you do need to stop treating it like it's free. Time is earned through how you use it. And if you're spending today in hesitation, in distraction, in self-doubt, you're handing over your most valuable asset. Not your money, not your attention, your time. That's the one thing you don't get back. There's no reset button, no rerun. You don't get to relive this day, this morning, this hour. What you don't do today is lost. And too many people learn that lesson late. After the opportunity's passed, after the chance has closed, after someone they love is gone. Regret is real, and it's heavy, but it's avoidable when you live like today matters. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need permission. You don't need more time. You need to use the time you already have, because today isn't just a placeholder between yesterday and tomorrow. It's the most important piece of the puzzle. It's the only one you're holding.